Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Today we are doing the promised porch makeover. This is something I promised to myself, but also that I would share with you guys. So we're doing a little front porch makeover and Christmas decorating. So this is going to go beyond probably what you would normally see for someone's, decorate my front porch. We're going to be painting and doing some things, y'all. So it should be a fun video. Aslan is not impressed at all, but to be honest, he's part of the reason that we're having to do this. Keep scratching up the front door and all that. So this is just obviously like a little before shot to show you guys some things need some updating, some repair to be, hobbled along a bit longer. This part of our house may end up kind of going away eventually if we ever get to do the addition that we would like to do. But for now, we want to make it lovely and livable and wonderful and something that we enjoy, a place for us to sit out and hang out. Got to replace that fan. Ugh. As always, first things first, you got to clean everything off, You got to go to the beginning. You got to get a blank slate to begin to work with. So that's what I'm going to start with, is just taking everything off the porch and setting it to the side. The other thing too with this video is I'm hoping that this will give a very realistic picture. Maybe not for everybody, okay? I don't want to judge. Maybe people can do projects like this in a day or whatever. But I do feel like sometimes with like the Instagram reels and TikTok and even YouTube videos, sometimes it makes it seem like things are like you snap your fingers and it's done. I was actually joking with my brother-in-law about like while I was painting the door, I was like, man, this feels like it's taking a really long time. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not a reel where it's just like 30 seconds and it's done. So I wanted you guys to get a realistic picture for how long a project like this actually would take me. Again, maybe somebody else could do it a lot faster, but for me, you're going to see that this project is like over a number of days. Now, part of that is also because as you're painting, and you'll see when we do the porch, that this stuff has to kind of like set and cure between coats, etc., etc. So it's born out of that partially. But that's kind of the reality of projects, is you don't just come in and like, I don't know, like a HGTV show, whip out something beautiful in like 6 hours or something crazy like that. So we're just going to start by sweeping off the porch. I had recently pressure washed. It's not perfect, but that'll do, pig, that'll do, if you get what I'm saying. It was good enough for me to feel comfortable painting over it. If you guys saw my other porch makeover, the little side porch, I'm using the same paint product. I'm using a different color. Oh, this is just one of my favorite things. Even my husband is like, man, that stuff is awesome. So it's just a mask and peel, basically, a liquid masking tape, as they call it. So you paint this on. Now, again, I used this in the twins' room when I painted their door, and I did not do it thick enough. So it was much harder to get off. You will see in this one, I was careful to make sure it was nice and thick as you paint it on, which makes it significantly easier to remove. Also, very satisfying. If you guys were those kids that like put glue on your hand in school, like Elmer's glue, and then you waited for it to dry and then you peeled it off, or if you like peeling sunburns, this stuff, man, I tell you what, mask and peel and a pressure washer, and I am good for the rest of my life. Anyways, we're going to start by putting very, very thick coats of this on the door. I also decided while I was out here, and I had to wait for that mask and peel to dry anyways, so I decided to touch up some of the paint on the white parts of the house that are not like the vinyl siding. So the wood portions of the porch, as well as like the columns, they were looking a little rough. So I decided to touch up the paint on those. So that's what I'm doing. Also, just a fair warning. This day I was listening to music. Most days I listen to like audiobooks or podcasts while I'm doing projects. This day I was listening to music and it gets out of hand, okay? You should be careful. Don't climb ladders and dance at the same time. I didn't get hurt, but I very well could have. So yeah, we're just going to go around and touch up all the white paint around the porch and on the columns. All right, now that all those shenanigans are done, we're gonna start painting the door. So I'm using, again, that same cabinet door enamel paint. This one is from Home Depot. And the color that I chose to go with after much humming and hawing is Boothbay Gray. It's a bluish gray, I guess is the best way to describe it. Now we begin painting the porch. So again, you could do this a number of ways. I kind of did it the same way I did the other porch, which was to start with a brush and then now listen, I didn't obey the product's instructions, okay? Sometimes we break rules around here. I ended up doing 3 coats of this, and there's a good reason for that, and it's hard to explain because you'd have to kind of see the wood and see how it responded, etc., etc., but I did 2 coats by hand with the brush, the 3rd coat with a roller, with a brush roller, and I rolled on the 3rd coat is kind of like thick as I could. I was trying to fill in. This wood is kind of old. It's not in the best shape. In all honesty, if this was something I was expecting to last us forever, I would have replaced some of the boards before we even began this project. But because, like I said, we're planning a addition and this whole porch may come off eventually, I just felt like let's not go through all that hassle. We'll just kind of patch and work with what we have. So that's why I chose to do so many coats so I could fill in some of the holes and stuff. So now we are on day 2 and we're giving the front door a 2nd coat. You know, I realized as I was editing this that I did not get enough close-up shots to show you the damage that my dogs have done to this door. You could probably see from a distance even, but it's from them jumping up and pawing at the door to be let in. And they've really dug some pretty deep scrapes into the wood. These are wood doors. So I'll show you kind of what I came up with as a temporary solution for that. But yeah, we're doing the 2nd coat on the floor, the 2nd coat on the door. And I think, is that all that we do today? I think that might be all that we do today. It's just those secondary coats. Yes, moving on to day 3, we are going to start peeling the masking stuff off of the door. So I tell you what, just so satisfying. This is also a Friday that I'm doing this, and on Fridays, my kids do horseback riding. Their cousins come over and they teach them horseback riding lessons. They teach their cousins horseback riding lessons. And so they were wrapping that up, and my brother-in-law was here chatting with me. So you'll see him in the door and some of the kids' shenanigans. It also incidentally took me a very long time to do this because I was standing there chatting with Uncle Pete. If you've ever chatted with Uncle Pete, you know how that can derail you very quickly. Uncle Pete is a wonderful conversationalist, and I'm glad I turned the audio off on this so you could not hear what we were discussing. But
put your finger in. Squiggle it around. Take your finger out. Close the lid. Thank you for cleaning my toilet.
Oh my God.
And that was all on day 3. Day 4 now. Here we go. See, I told you, like, trying to be realistic here for y'all. Day 4 is putting the actual Christmas decorations up and getting the finishing touches. But what I decided to do with the front door. Now, some of you will hate this, and I realize it like goes against all like design things, whatever. Look, I'm here for practicality too, people, okay? As much as I like things to be pretty, they got to be practical too. So we put a kick plate. I wanted to kind of test this, so let me explain as we go. I'm putting a kick plate on the door here, again, to, just because I think quite frankly it needs it, but also to help with where the dogs are clawing, which again, you can't really see from a distance, but I should have done a close-up so you could see how deep the scratches are. The other thing that I did, which is just wrong on all the levels of like design, whatever, but it's just practical, is I ended up buying a push plate. So if you've ever, been to a restaurant or someplace where you walk through doors that you have to push, you'll recall that they have like a metal push plate. So I put a push plate vertically above this one so that this kind of becomes like an L shape, because that's really where the dogs claw the worst, is right underneath the handle, that vertical spot. So it looks kind of dumb. I fully realize that, but it's hopefully going to save this door and keep them from completely clawing it to shreds while we work on training them not to do that. Now, when I went to the store, I was like, do I need to do this on both doors? Because yes, the left-hand door does open, but we never open it unless we're like bringing in a big piece of furniture. But visually, upon completion, my husband, see, there you go, little funky L shape. My husband was like, I think we need to do it on the other side. I think that will help like balance it. So I will go back before anybody is like freaking out over there with like the unbalancedness of it all. I will go back and purchase the same things, and we'll do the same thing on the door. And we also are probably going to replace the lock handle to be brass as well, just so it all kind of goes together, but not in this video, folks, not in this video. The other thing that you didn't see was that my husband replaced the lights on either side of the door for me. So I went to Home Depot and I found these lights that I really liked. They were lighter. The ones that were there were very heavy, and they were kind of leaning away from the house because they were so heavy. Just the mounting system there couldn't really hold them. So, and they were very old. I'm going to actually hang on to them and see if I can repurpose them somewhere else on the farm, because they could just use a little bit of like, rub and buff paint or something on them, and they would be pretty again. So I'm going to hold on to them and see if I can repurpose them. But for now, I really liked these to kind of, change it up a bit. And I'm actually moving these chairs and the little side table from my side porch, because I already have my papasan out there, and we also now have an enclosure out there for Dottie. So she has an indoor enclosure and an outdoor enclosure. So for right now, she has an outdoor enclosure on the porch. So the chairs are all very crammed. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to move these to the front porch because I didn't want the black ones out here anymore. I'm going to move those to a different spot. I love those black chairs, the corded ones. Love them so much. But I thought I'd move this little 3-piece set from Walmart up here to the front porch. So these little command hooks are what I've been using to hang garland and other things around the house that I want to be able to, remove and not leave nail holes and such. It was a little harder with this stuff because the branch on it is very thick, much thicker than normal garland. This is the Studio McGee garland from Target, which I loved. I loved the little blueberries and stuff, but I was able to make it work. And I also used those to help hold the string of lights, and I added more to help hold and balance these lamb's ear strands. So I just wanted to kind of beef it up a little bit, just add a little bit of something extra in there. So I added in the lamb's ear. And then the lights, which you can't really see because it's daytime when we filmed this. So maybe at some point I'll post a picture on Instagram or something with when it's dark enough that you can actually see the pretty twinkly lights. My husband also replaced the fan, which you'll see at the very end because I didn't think he was going to get it done in time. So I started filming like the final clips, and then he did get it done. So I went back and added one of those in. So there's a final clip at the end. But I love these little downturned trees from Target. How cute are these? I got a little set of 3 of these. They were only online. They didn't have them in store, but I kind of really I was digging the downturn tree. So yeah, that's kind of a wrap. We're going to get to the end. I'll show you everything. Of course, I'll link what I can for you guys down below. Most everything is, from like Target, Walmart, Amazon, that sort of thing. And I'll write paint colors down there as well for you. But that is a wrap on the Christmas porch. I hope y'all like it. I love it. I love it very much. The light bluish and red, I'm feeling it. I love it.